glory. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
As Jesus passed by, he saw a man blind from birth. He spat on the ground and made clay with his saliva and smeared the clay on his eyes and said to him, "Go, wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed, came back able to see. His neighbors and those who had seen him earlier as a beggar said, "Isn't this the one who used to sit and beg?" Someone said, "It is." But others said, "No, he just looks like him." He said, "I am." They brought the one who was once blind to the Pharisees. Now Jesus had made clay and opened his eyes on the Sabbath. He said to them, so then the Pharisees also asked him how he was able to see. He told them, "He put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and now I can see." So some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath." But others said, "How can a sinful man do such signs?" And there was a division among them. So they said to the blind man again, "What do you have to say about him, since he opened your eyes?" He said, "He is a prophet." They answered and said to him, "You were born totally in sin, and you are trying to teach us." Then they threw him out. When Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, he found him again and said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered and said, "Who is he, sir, that I may believe in him?" Jesus said to him, "You have seen him, and the one speaking with you is he." He said, "I do believe, Lord." And he worshipped him. For our salvation, the gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Surely the Lord's anointed is here before him. Do not judge from his appearance or from his lofty stature, because I have rejected him. Not as man sees does God see, because man sees the appearance, but the Lord looks into the hearts. And that is where I want us to reflect on today's readings, both the first from the book of Samuel, second from Paul's letter to the Corinthians, and the Gospel of John. Not as man sees does God see, because man sees the appearance, but the Lord looks into the heart. And I think this is really very important for us, especially now that so much has really gotten everybody panicking in our society. The question is, what do we see? What we see all around our world today is pandemic. How the world has almost been brought to its knees. In most big cities of the world, it looks like a ghost town. We see schools shutting down. People are sheltering in place. Here in the United States, we see that our economy is actually taking a downturn. People do not know how long this whole thing is going to end. A lot of people are wondering about their own personal survival. We're not talking about how many cases so far we have seen and how many deaths that we have buried. And nobody knows if he or she is going to be the next person. All of these are the things that have actually gotten our attention to the point that everybody is living on an eggshell, tiptoeing. That is what we see as humans, and that is rightly so. That's what humans do see. But could it be also that even in this whole thing that is happening in our time, that God is calling us for something special and something that is different? And perhaps that we're called to take a different posture to everything that is going on. Maybe this is a time to really abandon the whole experience into God's own time. Abandon this moment to God's own will. Maybe to sit still, reflect on the meaning of this. How is God, in the midst of these challenges that we are having right now, calling us, each one of us, to a special invitation to get to know Him, get to understand Him, get to, maybe for the first time, spend time with Him? So while staying home actually is a little bit difficult and challenging for us, for those of us who are workaholics, for those of us who are always doing something all the time, maybe this is a moment that we are called to perhaps have a personal reflection with God. Perhaps to say, God, what do you want me to do? God, what are you trying to tell me? And how can I, through every experience of this very moment, come to have a deeper relationship with you? Maybe that is a question that we have to ask ourselves as we go through this upheaval that we are all experiencing at this time. But there's also something that I was reflecting, given everything that has happened. In light of the time, this season of Lent, I mean, what a time that this whole thing is coming. It is also the time that we recalled the lonely trip of Christ, of going to the Calvary, to the place of his crucifixion, carrying that big cross on his shoulders. Maybe somebody like Simon actually helping him out here and there. But it is by going to the cross that also Christ was able to receive his grace. The grace that made him the chosen one of God, who came to redeem. That by carrying that cross, he was able to save humankind. Right there is the grace that came out of him carrying the cross. Maybe this pandemic is our own cross. And every cross comes with its own shape and form. And every cross sometimes can be very redemptive if we see it in light of what it is supposed to be. Just as his cross, Christ's cross was very redemptive at the end, with the grace that comes with it. This experience that we are all going through now can also be a time of grace for every one of us. The question is, how? The how is, if we can take this moment now, not only personalize it, but at the same time see a way that it is a challenge that God is giving to the entire world. to know that nothing remains permanent. It is only a phase. That this moment will soon pass. But if it passes without also learning anything from it, we have actually failed. This moment calls us to learn that in difficult moments, God does not abandon his people. In challenging moments, God is even closer to us than he has ever been. And this is the moment then that we can even see him, see his hands in everything that is going on, in the fears that we experience, in the disruption that has become part of our day-to-day life, in the separations that we have seen, in the people that are in the hospitals, and even in the moment whereby I'm not even sure what is going to happen the next minute. It is a time of grace. So as we go through this time, let us then understand that that same God who has promised that he will be with us to the end of time is the God who is also in our midst right now as we go through this experience. So maybe this is a time of prayer. This is a time of understanding the shape of the cross that we have been given. That cross is not about how big it is how open we are to carry that cross and joining this cross to that of Christ. That at the end, the cross is not just only a cross, but something that saves, that redeems us. And in this particular case, it is something that brings us closer to God.